Happy Halloween! Welcome to Tips on Teens. Today's question is not Halloween related, but it is a question that scares a lot of parents, brings a lot of discomfort, and I think a lot of parents will relate to this. I should introduce myself. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and my specialty is helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I founded two organizations, one Teen Therapy Center, and also the nonprofit Child and Teen Counseling here in Woodland Hills, California. Anyways, let's jump into today's question. Ever since my daughter started high school, she's been more and more distant. She used to tell me everything, but now when I ask her how school is or how she's doing, all I get is fine or okay. She stays in her room all the time and never wants to talk to me. I feel like I don't know what's happening in her life anymore. How can I get her to open up to me again? So again, I think a lot of parents can relate to this. There's a lot of different reasons why this could happen. There's a lot of unknowns about this question that I don't know yet. For example, is it just the one parent and this daughter? Is it a full family of six? Is she relating this way to everyone in the family or just to this parent? We're not really sure. But I'd want to answer those questions. I also want to answer the questions of, is she isolating from friends also? Is she being involved in things? And maybe the parent doesn't know because this kid isn't telling her. So these are questions we want to try to suss out and figure out if there's a pattern going on or if it's just with this parent. And let's assume, for example, right now that it is just with this parent. Why is that? Has there been a change in the relationship? Has there been higher expectations because she is now in high school? And has the relationship been more around mom or dad, depending on what parent this is, pressuring or managing this kid instead of connecting? And maybe this parent is trying to connect, this kid is pulling away. Maybe it's because of the pressures, maybe it's because things are happening outside of the family that we don't know, and we're not sure. I think we need to start figuring out what it is behind this. Another possibility, and this happens to a lot of families, is she's developing slowly into an adult. She's not an adult yet, but she is in that transition. Let's say she's 14 years old, freshman in high school, I'm assuming, and she's developing more into a woman. She's having deeper thoughts and feelings and urges than she's ever had before, and more intense. And that can be alarming and awkward and strange. And being around your parents when you're having these thoughts and feelings can be really awkward because it feels like your parents see right through you and see all these new thoughts and feelings that may be sexual, in nature that your kid is still trying to figure out. That's really awkward because then unconsciously this kid may also be feeling, well, if I'm having these feelings, that means my mom and dad have these feelings and that is way too icky. I don't want to think about it and deal with that. Let me just pull away and not be with them. That is another possibility. Another possibility that she's on her phone too much and she's lost in Snapchat or Instagram or YouTube or Reddit or any other of the many online time sucks that there are, because there's always that feeling of missing out. Like, am I going to, imagine like you watching right now with your phone. How much do you check your phone just because you're bored and you want to just find something new? How often have you gotten lost on your phone for an hour or 2 hours at a time looking at nonsense, just hoping for something new? And you having a fully developed adult brain where your 14-year-old does not have a developed adult brain, still has an adolescent brain, which is very sensitive to wanting new things and wanting that newness and avoiding boredom. And so it could be that she's getting lost in her phone as well. So that maybe need to be moderated. If you're feeling that you and your daughter aren't able to find a bridge to meet in the middle, it may be helpful to find a therapist, a family therapist who works with kids and teens to help strengthen this while it hasn't gotten too bad. While she's still 14, she's still open to it. If you wait too long, the divide gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's harder to close that gap. It's not impossible. It just takes more time, effort, energy. There's more mistrust, and you want to try to minimize that as best you can. So that is another possibility, and I encourage you to look into that if it's possible. Again, a lot of factors could be happening that we don't know all the details. So I can only answer this in a general sense. But hopefully this gets you kind of on the road to figuring out how to better support your kid. Also, one other thing I would say is keep reaching out to your kid without an expectation of them responding. And it hurts. You'll reach out to your kid and they'll go, oh, hey, let's go see a movie. Let's go get dinner together. And like, whatever, fine. And they're just mopey and very Eeyore-like. And you feel like you're grasping at straws trying to connect with this kid. You have to realize that it may not be about you. It may be about her and where she's at. And just accepting her and keep extending the olive branch. She will eventually recognize that you're not judging her and you're accepting, and she may eventually come around. If you don't think that's enough, you need additional help, give us a call, give your local therapist a call, figure out a way to address this sooner rather than later. Again, if you have your questions you'd like us to answer, you can email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can also join our Facebook group called Tips on Teens. And if you join the Facebook group, you're sure to get this video in your feed. If you don't always get this video in your feed, but you want to get it more often, join that Facebook group and you'll get it all the time. We love your questions. Keep them coming. We look forward to answering your question next Wednesday at noon here on Facebook Live. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint, licensed marriage and family therapist from Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling here in Woodland Hills. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.